Hey everybody, this is your host Chris G from Blerd's Eyeview. How's it going out there on podcast land? Thank you for tuning in for this special reboot edition of Blerd's Eyeview. Now I say reboot for one reason. This is the week where everything starts to reopen. Now, I'm excited about it in some retrospect, and I'm also concerned. There are a lot of stores that's opening back up. There are a lot of things that are coming back into play, and people are wanting to get back to normalcy in their lives. But I implore you people, whether you think the virus is real or not, please, please, please take care of yourself. Wash your hands, keep your social distance, wear a mask constantly in public. You know, it's not necessary outside when you're jogging or just at the park, but if you're in stores or even in malls, just wear a mask. You know, if it's very simple. So that's part of the reboot edition. Unfortunately, there aren't any reboot films that's taking place, so let's get into it. We got the first piece of news. Fan favorite Katie Sackhoff will be reprising her role as Bo-Katan in the second season of The Mandalorian. Now, for those who don't know who Bo-Katan is, she made her appearance in the Star Wars Clone Wars series as well as the Star Wars Rebel series. So multiple sources have confirmed that Sackhoff will reprise her role as Bo-Katan in the Disney Plus series this fall on The Mandalorian, which is a big hit on Disney Plus. Everybody's in love with this show. I'm one of the fans. Everybody's in love with its breakout star, Baby Yoda, and that's what we're calling him until he has an actual name. And the season will not be delayed due to the COVID-19, so that's good news as well. It seems that they may have already shot it since it's already a limited series anyway. It's more like an 8-series run. So it seems that everything seems to be right on point and right on track for everything to go in there. So that's really good news for a lot of fans. That's really good news to see Katie Sackhoff back in the saddle in some sci-fi shows. And it was great to see that. And also added addition to having Katie Sackhoff is another fan favorite, Rosario Dawson, who's going to be playing the fan favorite, Ahsoka Tano, as you know, she also was in Star Wars Rebels and Star Wars Clone Wars. And there is one other piece of news that comes along with this. Tamura Morrison will be playing Boba Fett. Now, originally, he played Jango Fett in the Clone Wars saga, the prequels for Star Wars. So it'll be interesting to see exactly what he brings to the table on this one, since he's going to be playing Boba Fett now. Most popular in this franchise series, and will be playing Boba Fett again. Now, you're probably wondering how he's playing Boba Fett again. Sources are saying that he's just a clone. And why not? That's what all the Clone Wars was all about anyway. So there's going to be more news coming out about The Mandalorian, and we're going to be moving on to something a little more special. Well, I don't want to say a little more special, but something a little more intense coming up after this. I want to thank Bensound for the intro music that we're using, as well as this commercial break using. That is bensound.com, BENSOUND.com. For royalty-free music, or you can buy for their pro license, go to bensound.com. All right, so moving on to the next part of this little segment we have going on. The New Mutants finally have a theatrical release, and that will be for this year, 2020, of August. This movie has been delayed several times. When it was under the Fox Studios imprint, it had been pushed back several times due to reshoots and demands and things of that nature, a lot of in-demand cast. So it changed, and then by the time it was getting ready to finally be released, Fox was bought out by Disney Studios. So this is a good news thing. This is a film that, if you weren't a fan of a lot of the Fox franchise mutant series, such as the X-Men or the first Wolverine Origins, or even Deadpool for that matter, which I find that hard to believe, the New Mutants is something that I was actually interested in and was looking forward to have be released. After being delayed multiple times, it seemed as if Disney was going to release it on demand, or possibly Disney Plus. It was never really sure. It was never really confirmed. But now it was supposed to come out earlier this year for April 3rd release. And that's when the COVID-19 strain hit. So that caused, and at first they were going to go ahead and still release it, but it became a little too serious. And Disney did the right move, and they pulled it from the theater, and they pulled it from its slate of release. That's when the whole confusion started to come into play. Not sure where it was going to show. So by this point in the game, there are a lot of people, fans and non-fans alike, who are very interested in how this turns out. Now, we're not sure if this is if there were any reshoots on Disney's behalf to maybe tie in to introduce mutants. We're not sure. We'll wait and see. But it's going to be good. It's going to be nice to see what they have to offer for this particular movie. There were troubles during their scheduling reshoots, and there was a lot of stuff going on with the in-demand cast, and they constantly changed studios. So there was a lot of controversy surrounding this film. Finally, we get the chance to see it. We finally get to see what's going on with the New Mutants, and this will be fun to see for a change. And whether or not it ties into the bigger scope of the MCU is left to be seen. So we'll wait and see for that to come up. Coming up next, all right, everybody, and last but not least, we will be talking about the CW Arrowverse shows. And not just the Arrowverse shows. First, we'll start off with this. CW just acquired the rights to air Swamp Thing. Now, we're not sure if this is the first season of Swamp Thing that is currently on the DC Universe streaming app, or if they're going to continue on with the story. I'm hoping it's both. For those who don't have DC Universe, let me tell you, you're missing out on Swamp Thing because it is a very, very good show. Fans and critics alike love this thing. It's not even a superhero thing. It's more of a horror-based show. It's very dark. It's gritty. If you know anything about Swamp Thing, this fits right into this realm of things. So it's going to be fun. They have announced that it will be a release of this fall, 2020. So along with a lot of other shows that's going to be released around that time, which is normal for a lot of shows to be released during the fall because that's when the new fall lineup comes out. So with that bit of good news, we also have a little bit of bad. As you know, everything has been shut down. As you know, everything had been cut out and production has stopped on a lot of shows. Supernatural, for instance, still has 7 final episodes to show for their last and final season 15 show. Now, I'm also a Supernatural fan. I was holding out hope that maybe due to this virus and maybe to the spark of everyone finally catching up to Supernatural, that maybe, just maybe, that the show might get picked up for another season. But there's hope for all of us. The Winchester boys, Cash Jill and the like, we finally get to see them finish off their story later on this fall. It probably will be this fall. They say this year, it'll probably be during the fall, unless they throw something up in there in the air for the summertime. But they finally get to air it out. They finally get to finish it off, and that's good news on that front. Now, on to other news dealing with CW. Any Arrowverse show that's been affected for this, such as Supergirl, Batwoman, DC Legends of Tomorrow, Black Lightning, and now Superman and Lois. These shows not only are held back, with the exception of Black Lightning. Let's take a rewind. Black Lightning actually finished their season way before this COVID-19 quarantine and lockdown happened. So they were in the clear. They were fine. Superman and Lois, this will be their first season. They haven't even started yet, I don't believe. But the other shows, DC Legends, Supergirl, Batwoman, these shows in The Flash, these shows have been put on hold. And their seasons generally have not. This would have been May sweep. This is May sweeps. This is May. They would have finished all their shows this month. But due to the lockdown and production stopping on these shows, that pushed all their episodes back. So whatever episodes we get for the month of May will not be traditionally the season finale shows. but they will be the season finale shows. So there's going to be continuations of these seasons starting in the fall, along with the new season of the said shows. I know it's a lot to take in. It's a little confusing. We just want things to go back to normal so everybody can watch it. But so far, this is the lineup that they have lined up for these said shows, starting the fall of 2020 into 2021. So we'll start off Sundays. It'll be Batwoman. Mondays it'll be Black Lightning. Tuesdays it'll be Flash, and then Superman and Lois, and then that's it. So, but that's only because that's the start of January 2021. DC Legends has managed to, I think they've managed to escape because they already had their shows recorded. They already had everything taken care of. So it seems that they might not been affected too much. So they, from what I understood, they actually were good up until this week, which is the May 16th. So I think they had their episode yesterday. They seem to be okay. They seem to be on track with everything. And that there we have it for that. But everyone, thank you for tuning in. I'm your host, Chris G. I'm from Blerd's Eyeview. Tune in to Blerd's Eyeview on Spotify, iTunes, Google Podcasts, Anchor, and anywhere you can find a streaming podcast. You can also check out Blerd's Eyeview's video podcast on YouTube, and you'll also get a sample of your own, yours truly, Chris G's voice work. And finally, you can follow Blerd's Eyeview on Facebook, Twitter, and soon Instagram. So be sure to give Blerd's Eyeview a follow on these platforms. Be sure to leave a comment. Let me know what you want to think about, or what you think and what you want to talk about. For me and my co-host, Darius DC Chambers, who's not here right now, leave us something so we can talk about it, see what news comes across our board. But until then, Blerd's Eyeview out.